While fast growth can be good, it also takes a toll on our utilities. That's the case in Brunswick County. WECT's Sydney Hoover was at tonight's commissioners' meeting where they heard recommendations on how to improve their utilities department.
Additional staffing and some reorganization could help the Brunswick County Public Utilities Department better serve its community. That's according to an organizational assessment conducted by Raftelis Consulting. They came up with a list of recommendations based on interviews with staff, tours of Brunswick County public utility facilities, and reviewing county data compared to similar communities. Those recommendations included creating new management positions to take stress off the director, improving communication among BCPU administrators and frontline workers, and increasing staffing at some treatment facilities, among other recommendations. John Nichols is the director for BCPU. He says he hopes the assessment will allow the department to improve its efficiency and productivity.
And just like any organization our size, we want to look at that on a regular basis to make whatever changes that we can make. It also takes a look at our manpower needs, and certainly through COVID we were looking very closely at that with all the growth that we're having.
The assessment also recommended continuing to collect data to help with making staffing decisions in the future. The board did not take any action on that report tonight. Reporting in Brunswick County, Sydney Hoover, WECT News.